On the last leg of our trip to Switzerland, we toured the beautiful old cities of Bern and Basel.
We're Richard and Mary. Since retiring in 2004, we've been exploring the U.S. and abroad by car, RV, train, and cruise ship.
Come along with us as we enjoy beautiful scenery and visit interesting and historic places.
Please subscribe and welcome to the adventures of the retired roamers. The old city of Bern, founded in 1191, is located on a peninsula in the loop of the Aare River. I will not try to pronounce the name of the clock tower, but it was built in 1220 as a gate into the city.
The buildings on Kramgrasse, the main street in the old city, featured covered walkways, which are lined with shops and restaurants. Some of the buildings have paintings similar to those we saw in Lucerne.
And you see the fountain behind us, a bear, and that's what Bern means, bear. Beautiful city.
Very friendly, lots and lots of shops. It almost reminds you of an old New York. But the architecture is so different and so pretty. No big tall buildings in this area anyway.
Bern was originally wooden, and then a big fire occurred, and by law they can only build stone buildings from that point. So everything here is all made of stone.
And they've got a number of these fountains with statues, each one for something different.
All of the water fountains in Switzerland are drinkable. So we've been filling up our water bottle whenever we could. Albert Einstein moved to Bern in 1902 and worked as a clerk in the patent office. After marrying in 1903, he lived here on the second floor, and it was here that he created the groundbreaking theory of general relativity.
Some of the buildings even have colorful statues like this one.
This is the Nidegg area located at the lower tip of the peninsula. The name is from the Bernese German expression for lower corner.
The Nidegg Church began as a small chapel in 1341 and has been enlarged over the years, including the addition of the tower. One of the church doors depicts scenes from the life of Jesus.
Located across the river, Bear Park is home to 3 bears, Finn, Björk, and their daughter Ursina. There's actually a small room above the park.
Rich and I had some interesting chats with Albert while we rested from our walk.
Unkengrasse is considered to be the best preserved street in the old city. The name means Nobility Lane, which reflects its former use as a residential area by Bern's leading families.
The Erlacher House, built in 1745, is the most representative patrician town mansion in Bern. This is the Zierleiter House, which was constructed in the 17th century, but the painting was added in 1897.
At the end of the street is Bern Cathedral, which began construction in 1421. It was not completed for over 150 years. The tower was added in 1893 and has the highest church spire in Switzerland.
Over the main portal is one of the most complete Gothic sculpture collections in Europe. The collection represents the Last Judgment, where the wicked will be separated from the righteous. In the center stands Michael the Archangel with a raised sword.
A large terrace behind the cathedral provides space for picnics, playing, and relaxation, as well as scenic overlooks of the Ara River.
This large plaza, called Münsterplatz, is located in front of the cathedral.
We had dinner at Altus Tram Depot, where they brew their own beer. We each had a different type of wurst, both of which were very good. Mary had wine, and I had one of the home brews. The next day, we traveled to Basel, which is located on the Rhine River at the borders of France and Germany. This is our second time in Basel. We were here in 2017 for a Rhine River cruise, but unfortunately our plane was delayed, so we didn't have time to tour the city.
The 10 figures of Tingerly Fountain were created by the Swiss artist Jean Tingerly, and are arranged like dancers on a stage, performing the same routine over and over again.
The Barfüßer Kirche, meaning barefoot church, was founded by the Franciscans in the 13th century. Its name is from the Franciscans, who were also called Barfüßer, meaning the barefoot. In 1894, the church was renovated to become the city's historical museum.
When we left the Barefoot Church, we walked through several blocks of wonderful shopping areas. Once again, Rich was glad I couldn't fit anything more into my suitcase.
Basel's cathedral was constructed starting in the latter part of the 12th century and was completed around 1225. Although the foundations date to 1019. It was originally Catholic, but became Reformed Protestant in the 16th century. Several prominent people from as far back as the 14th century are buried in the church.
A terrace at the back of the church provides a view of the Rhine River. That ferry is being pulled across the river by a rope.
A Celtic fortified city was located on this hill in the 1st century BC, but was destroyed when the Romans conquered the area. By the early 1st century AD, there was a small Roman village built on top of the ruins.
The lanes in this area are lined with well-kept homes dating back as far as the 13th century. first mention of Mortenkirch, or Church of St. Martin, was in 1101, which makes it the oldest church in Basel. No longer a church, it's now the city's most important concert forum due to its outstanding acoustics. This colorful fountain on the side of the church features a statue of Hinman Svogol, a military commander in the 1400s.
In order to reach Market Square, we had to descend these stairs. We didn't count the steps, but it wouldn't surprise me if there were 100. The first mention of a market on this site was in 1075. The impressive red 500-year-old town hall is the seat of government for the city and the surrounding area.
The square was filled with numerous food carts, but it was now well after lunch and they were packing up. Luckily, Scheisser Tea Room was open, so we had pastries.
Okay, so it wasn't healthy, but it was good.
Dating back from 1870, Scheisser is Basel's oldest tea room and has been managed by the same family for 5 generations. After a great day in Basel, we returned to Zurich, where we stayed overnight and departed Switzerland the next morning. We had a memorable 8 days in Switzerland, despite the rain and the snow, or perhaps because of it. On our next trip, I envisioned someplace warmer and drier.
Me too. Thanks for viewing, and join us for our next adventure.